Any man who can last in bed with me for 24 hours without getting tired will marry me.
In the small village of Boko, peace ended the morning do the bold, and the most beautiful girl in the village stepped into the village square with her hands on her hips and fire in her eyes. That morning, she cleared her throat and announced, "Any man who can last in bed with me for 24 hours without getting tired will marry me." Du was known for three things: her sharp mouth, her confidence, her refusal to marry any man who breathes like a broken generator. She wanted to marry a man who can last in bed for 24 hours. The village went silent. The village women murmured, "How can a woman choose such a challenge to get a husband?" The maidens in the village complained, "She just wants to have a taste of all the men in the village." Others said, "What would happen to us if she slept with all the men in the village? Who will marry us?" The news spread through the village before evening. When it reached the ears of the men, they were excited. They boasted about it. One of the men, Okoro the wrestler, puffed his chest. 24 hours! I don't even rest when I farm. That is a small challenge. I will even last for 48 hours, he added. Emeka the village tailor adjusted his shirt and said, "Strength is not about size, it is about technique. I will use my 10 years of sewing technique and she will definitely choose me as her husband." Chinedu the village dancer whispered to his friends, "I once danced all night at a wedding. With my dancing skills, 24 hours is nothing." The elders shook their heads. This village will not hear peace today. What kind of madness is this? As for Du, she sat in front of her compound waiting for the first man to start her challenge. By midday, the compound had turned into a gathering ground. Old women sat on low stools, pretending to peel cassava while their ears stretched like antennas. Even goats refused to stray far, as if they too wanted to witness history. Du sat calmly on a wooden bench, chewing gum and smiling like someone who knew something others did not. Her confidence alone was already frightening some men. Okoro the wrestler arrived first, sweating even before anything had started. He rolled his shoulders, flexed his arms, and shouted, "Make space! A champion has arrived." The villagers cheered. Some women whispered, "This one has muscles, but does he have strength?" Okoro removed his shirt dramatically, threw it on the ground, and began to jog around the compound like someone warming up for war. He did push-ups. He slapped his chest. He shouted his clan's praise name. Du watched him quietly. Emeka the tailor arrived next, carrying a small bag. Nobody knew what was inside. He greeted the elders respectfully and smiled. "Strength is in wisdom," he said calmly. Chinedu the dancer came dancing into the compound, spinning and clapping, already sweating from excitement. He refused to sit down, saying his body must stay loose. Soon, other men began to gather at the edge, whispering and calculating in their heads. Some were confident. The village women grew restless. "This thing must not continue," one of them said. "Our husbands are leaving us to compete," another replied. The elders called for calm. "Let us watch first," the oldest elder said, tapping his staff. "A man who runs into fire should not complain of heat." Isda, Du finally stood up. The compound went quiet again. She looked at the men one after the other, her eyes sharp, her lips curved in a knowing smile. "Listen carefully," she said. "This is not a joke. Once you enter, there is no turning back. If you stop, you leave quietly with your shame." Okoro laughed loudly. "Shame is not my mate." The crowd laughed with him, but some noticed his laughter was already shaking. Du pointed to a small stool. "Sit," she told him. Okoro sat. She turned to the elders. "Let everyone see. Let everyone hear. No stories later." The air was heavy. Even the birds went silent. Du stepped forward, steady and fearless, while Okoro swallowed hard and wiped his face. From the corner of the compound, Emeka adjusted his shirt again. Chinedu stretched his legs and whispered, "After him, it's my turn." The village leaned forward. Boko held its breath. Okoro, the strongest man in the village, was the first to volunteer. He entered with fire in his eyes and muscles shaking with pride. He lasted for 1 hour. Exactly 1 hour. After that,